Welcome to ASHLEE Marie. I hope you guys loved Halloween Baking Championship episode 2 last night. I have to say, this is the one I was the most nervous to watch because, dun 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 dun, store-bought dough, my nemesis. This was seriously such a rough challenge, and I'm taking the challenge on again. I'm gonna do it one more time and see if I can get it right. Let's get started. On the show, the first thing I did was start with the biscuit dough. So I have to say, opening things up is probably just as scary as being on the show. Ready? Oh man, it always gets me every time. Ah, there it goes. All right, so this is just normal biscuit dough, as you can see. And I knew that if I fried them, I could turn them into a donut. So then I'd have a really easy component on my dish done. Of course, these aren't baked, they're fried, so I still needed something baked to do. But, so yeah, you just take a cookie cutter and cut out the center. This is really all the prep this dough needs. Start by taking your biscuit, putting it in your basket, and then putting the basket down in the oil. And I just did both sides at once and just kind of watched them. Now, you might not have a fryer at home. That's okay. You can do this in like a wide, shallow pan and heat up your oil on the stove. Just keep a candy thermometer close by so you can keep the oil at 375. That's gonna give you really the best possible outcome on these donuts. Flip them, make sure they're a nice golden color, and then pull them out and put them on a cooling rack so that they can strain off all that extra oil. And then put the next ones in. Our donuts are still warm. I've mixed up some cinnamon and sugar. We're just gonna take the donut and flip it and shake it into here. Kind of roll it if you need to get those sides done. Just do them all. Now the real nemesis, store-bought cookie dough. Now I really wanted to have some fangs that kind of fit in the center of my donut so I could make them into like monsters. Rawr, rawr, rawr. So I hand cut, I rolled this out, and I don't know if it was that the studio was warm or what, but this dough was warm and soft and messy. It was bad. Anyway, I rolled it out, I cut it, I put it in a shape to hold its curve, and unlike my sugar cookie dough, it actually like melts. This cookie dough just kind of lowers and goes flat. It's totally different than what I would call sugar cookie dough. So I'm gonna try it a little bit different this time. We have our dough. I have parchment paper above and below because that's what I do to roll out sugar cookies. That way you don't add a bunch of flour into your dough. All right, I've flattened it just a little bit. Now we're gonna roll it out. All right, now that I know that this dough gets flat and wide, I'm actually rolling it out just a little bit thinner than I did on the show. And rather than hand cut them all, I found these fang cookie cutters. They're a little bit bigger than I wanted for the donuts, but I am not trying to hand cut all those again, just to have them fall apart. So you guys, seriously, this dough is like just soft and mushy, and this would never happen with my homemade dough. You guys, it is totally worth making this dough from scratch. All right, so, ooh, it's just so soft and mushy. Now, because I know they spread, I'm actually gonna spread them apart on my pan and not try to cook them too close together. Oh, I lost a fang. Our cookies are done. Look how great they look. Okay, yeah, I'm just kidding. This is actually my homemade dough. This is what happened with the store-bought dough. Pretty big difference, right? Yeah. Let's face it, there was no way I could win this challenge with these cookies. I don't know how Erin pulled it off. Her cookies looked amazing. So now we're gonna try to salvage these and see how we can do it. So I made some white chocolate ganache, and rather than dye it pink like I did on the show to make it look like gums, I'm gonna leave it white, and we're gonna see if we can make this look a little bit more tooth-like. We're gonna fill in at the top and bring it down to a point. Fill in at the top, bring it down to a point, and then make the rest of these big teeth. think this is gonna work. Overall, I think these look a lot more like teeth than my last try. So I'm gonna take some, just some red airbrush paint and just kind of paint the top of our fangs. Now, because our airbrush paint is water-based and our fangs are made of ganache, which is chocolate, so more oil-based, it's not gonna stick really great, but it actually will kind of bead up and maybe look a little bit more blood-like. So we'll go for it. So we have our donuts, we have our cookies, we're ready to put it together. So I'm gonna take some of that same white chocolate ganache and just put a little bit of it on the donut and attach my cookies. All right, and now what does every monster donut need? Eyeballs. I'm using the exact same eyeballs from the cupcakes because, let's face it, I had extras lying around. All right, woo, I'm done. I never have to work with store-bought dough again. Oh my gosh, this challenge was so difficult, and whew, if I had a chance to redo it, this is what I would do. I would just kind of work with the dough strength, which is to spread, and use my frosting to make the teeth rather than rely on the cookies. So these look way more monster-like than my dentures did. And I didn't spill any frosting on my shoes, so yay win. Let's give it a try. All right, so it's a little bit more dense than a homemade donut would really be. Definitely more bready. The cinnamon and sugar certainly save it, but it's definitely not my favorite thing, and I would much rather make donuts from scratch. They're really not that hard, and I have a recipe on my site if you want to check it out. I hope you guys are enjoying the Halloween Baking Championship. Don't forget to tune in next week, week 3. I seriously can't believe that I made it. Can't believe I'm on TV. It is so much fun. 9/8 Central. Don't forget to check your local listings. And don't forget to subscribe because I'm going to be making everything I made on this show here. Sometimes to redeem myself and sometimes just to share something that I thought was awesome. Thanks for watching.